Welcome to the Monday Morning Wake Up Call with your host, Kerry Ramage, managing broker at Remax Elite, and Heather Holliday, your social marketing nut, talking about hottest real estate topics with a little weekly activity and motivation for the week. Well, good morning and happy Monday.
Happy Monday. It's a chilly Monday here in Florida.
What is chilly? Like it's 60?
Yeah, 67.
Okay, so that's about what it is here. But I had the oddest thing happen over the weekend. So we were waiting. We went out, I don't know, went to go do some shopping and we went to go out to lunch and we're waiting for our table. And I had to run out to the truck to get something. And all of a sudden it was like white nerds, you know, the candies
Yeah.
falling from the sky, like
So like,
pouring out of the sky. And at first I thought it was snow when I looked outside.
but it was like hail, no? Was it hail?
Sleet, hail, I guess, but it was like they were the size of the nerds, but they were completely white. They weren't clear. It wasn't like snow where it's, you know, kind of wispy and it was I didn't know. I thought it was snowing. I was
That's
trying
funny.
to do videos and then I'm like, okay, I got to figure out how to use Snapchat or Instagram to put on some filters because that's just god awful. Delete those. But I've never ever seen anything. And it was a sunny day. I mean, yeah, it was cold, but it was like a nice day out. But it was just
Wow.
it came
The
out of
oddest thing.
nowhere.
Huh.
I don't know. I guess being a
No.
Florida girl, never seen anything like that. And I was kind of corrected. It's not snow. And you're right, it's not. But it looked like white nerds just pouring out of the sky everywhere.
Yeah, we didn't have that. We had a beautiful weekend, actually. The weather was nice, a little chilly, but great, like great to be outside before it gets too hot.
Yes.
And yeah, so if you're watching, tell us in the chat where you're tuning in from and what your weather's like today.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm 54 right now. It'll get up to 80 this week. Yet it just snowed and sleet and hail and whatever this weekend. It is like April. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Right? Totally. Ay, ay, ay.
I don't even, and it's weird. It'll be 80 and then 2 days later we get snow. And
So
April.
it is. So here's the thing. It is April, and so we have finished our first quarter, and we're here to do our business planning checkup after our first quarter in 2022 and see if everybody's in track and help you to get on track if you're not.
And it's almost funny because we probably should have done this. Hey, Susan. Probably we're supposed to do this last week, but I was like horrified because I knew on my vision board, not one thing had been done. Whereas last year, I was an overachiever and almost everything was done on my vision board by March. So I was a little, Cincinnati and 61.
That's nice weather up there for Cincinnati,
Yeah,
I would think,
I'm
for this
like,
time of
you're
the
warmer
year.
than here right now in Tennessee. Yeah, and it's the craziest weather I've ever been through. Great. I mean, just insane. I white nerds just can't just not purple and red and blue or whatever. So I was a little nervous, but at least then I my big thing is my doing done, and I'm pretty much on track with all of that. So
Good.
But that's exactly why we do this. Is every quarter.
It's exactly why. It's so that we can just regroup. So you don't just let the whole year fly by, and in October go, oh my gosh, I'm not on track. What have I done? So pull out your books. If you've got your book, pull it out, and let's do a little checkup. So open up to your personal vision and professional vision, and see if you've achieved any of the goals that you could check off on that list. Is there anything on there that you've already done? and you can check it on. Is there anything on there that you thought was a goal that maybe you might want to save it for next year, and it's for whatever reason this year's not the right year, so you might want to move that over? Or is there any new goal that you want to add because you feel like you are just crushing it this year, and you've got things, um, how do I
And that's
say?
the thing with all the business planning is, yes, I do the doing done. Yes, we do it in October, November-ish. But life happens.
Hmm.
So, and I know a lot of times, like, a lot of people went to R4 this year, go to conventions. It's okay to make those adjustments. For me, February was absolutely insane. And I know so many agents going through the same thing. Or you picked up a nugget, or 3 or 5 or 10, at R4. So it's okay to make that adjustment. And that's basically what this checkup is for, is not to just do it instead of decide, never look at it again until we go back, in November-ish to look at things. Is every quarter you need to go back to, your vision board should be somewhere you see every single day, because that's just like that constant visual aspect of it. I like my doing done. That's kind of my book of reference of the things, that's the this one here where it has the month, and it gives I 3 things to do every single month. It's easy to do. And I am pretty much on track with that. The only thing I haven't done are the live trainings that I really wanted to do, but it is super time consuming, and finding guests, and coming up with all this stuff. And there's been so many updates that everything, to me, it's like things are going to be outdated so quickly with all of the updates that have been happening. So I don't, I
Right, right. It's almost like as soon as you do a live training, now there's a new update and now it's different. Yeah.
right. So that kind of got put on the side burner. I mean, it's not something that I don't think about every day, but I'm doing, weekly blogs on different things. So that's kind of and because the blog is super easy, because I can just update the screenshot with the new icons, or, the
Right.
new link. So to me, that's just a lot easier to keep up to date. So I figure that's kind of like a wash. I'm still doing that. March
Yeah,
will be.
I mean, for me, I'm going to add to my things today to just really learn more and understand crypto. I watched the
Oh, did
YouTube
you
that
watch it with Nick Bailey?
I did watch the YouTube with Nick Bailey, and what's interesting is I watched it, but if you watch the Oscars, and we're not going to talk about Will and Chris Rock, but what we are going to talk about is the commercial that was on so much, which was about cryptocurrency. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but there was this cryptocurrency commercial that was on probably 10 times. And now on the news, like every day they're talking about cryptocurrency. It was on Good Morning America. It was on, the ABC News that I watch. So it's out there, and everybody seems to be talking about it. And I just need to learn more.
And it kind of just hurts my brain, but it seems to be a topic that is coming up more frequently. And I
Yes.
know that they had a class at R4. It wasn't something I would go to, because I don't, I can't handle real money. Forget about invisible money or whatever the hell this shit is. I don't get it. But
Yeah.
agents are more and more starting to ask about that. And do I know anything? And luckily,
Totally. And it's like,
one of our
oh, I
agents,
have
I was
to.
able to, no, go watch whatever, I sent her the link to the one that was on R4. Just go watch that. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden I see, Nick doing his live about it. So at least I'm glad that there are courses and classes
Yep.
or lives and questions, and to try to learn about it. But
To
yeah.
try and learn. I know. So good morning, Rob. Thanks for joining us this morning. And Barbara, yeah, I sent out the link to Nick's YouTube the end of last week. So if anybody wanted to watch, they could watch it. And he had 2 guys on there that I think were pretty knowledgeable. So it was good. And they seem to think, it's going to be the wave of the future. So it'll be interesting to see. But I at least want to have a working knowledge on it. I kind of make the joke when we start buying houses and selling houses consistently with crypto. I think it might be time for me to retire. But
I think
I
that's how my
really,
grandmother felt when the internet came about.
right. That's
Well, I'm
like I
done.
don't. That's
I'm
I
done.
always have said I don't want to be that person.
Get rid
I
of the
want to.
books and go to straight internet. I'm done. Oh my
Wow.
goodness. So, wow.
So Rob, and I don't know if you can respond kind of live, um, but I'm curious, did you guys consider it or did you poo-poo it or did they accept that offer with the Bitcoin? Just curious. And while we're waiting for Rob to maybe reply, I'll move on to just vision board, and we've kind of already touched on this. So pull out your vision board. If and like Heather said, it should be something that's in front of you every day so that you're constantly seeing it. It's a constant reminder of where you're going, what you want to do, where you want to be. Um, and check out your vision board and just make sure that's where you're going. So that's interesting, Rob. Yeah, it it's such an interesting thing. One of the gentlemen Nick Bailey had on last week did a deal with, he was the first person to do a deal with cryptocurrency. And I think he said it was in 2018, maybe. I don't remember the gentleman's name right now, but
4 years
yeah,
ago?
that's I'm with you, Rob. Like, thank goodness there was a better offer. Like, because it's something I'm not sure I want to learn right this very second. I don't know. I guess does the person transfer the Bitcoin to the seller, and then as a seller, do you just immediately cash in the Bitcoin? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, I know Hunter talks about it all the time, but I don't know. I don't know. It hurts my brain to
Yeah.
even think about it. So I'm glad you're learning about it so I can just send everybody to you. Thankfully.
Right? So, also, are you tracking everything you're doing? I had the pleasure of being on a Zoom meeting with our friends down in Remax of Stewart last week, in which Nathan Dart spoke for 30 minutes. And he he was talking about measuring and tracking, measuring and tracking, measuring and tracking, measuring and tracking. And he used a platform, which was really interesting. Now he has a huge team, so it made sense to use it. I'm just going to mention what it was if I can find it in my little notebook here. Um, but it tracked everything, and it was a really cool geckoboard.com. Geckoboard.com. and it
Gecko
was
board.
part and it was part of Property Base, which was a product from Salesforce. So it was really cool. So um
I mean, I'm all about I mean, I just geek out on that stuff. I like to know everything. I like to know what pages. I mean, and me, it's more on like the pay per click and the website. And I love like my marketing site. I actually even get notifications from their app who's live. I can immediately chat with them if I want. I know the location, what pages they're on, how long they're on the site. I can interact with them. And I just geek out on my analytics, but I want to know how somebody found me. And every
right.
agent should be asking that no, because you need to know what efforts work, what don't. If you're getting them from different sources and your leads, I mean, you need to know what your spend is, what that conversion is, your return on your investment. I think all of that is super, super important. Just part of business, really.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, he knew everything. He knew where the best, certainly sphere of influence, repeat, and referral was huge for him. But he also was still doing a decent Zillow business, and Homelight was another great thing. But it's, what's working for you, and if it's not working, do you just phase that out and phase into something else? Wait, but I want to go back to Rob for just 1 second. So he says, you can cash in Bitcoin pretty quickly. And so they told the buyer to do it, to convert it. But here's a thought from the buyer's standpoint. If I cash in the Bitcoin and I don't get the deal, have I now cashed in something and now I have to pay more to get it back? It's almost like, I equate it to cashing in stocks. You know, would it make sense to cash it in early? But what if you don't get the deal? Is that, it's definitely something we all need to start learning, I guess, is really
And
what.
then I like Barbara's point, and I think it may be a good class for Prestige to do.
Oh, yeah. I'll message them this morning and
Yeah,
see
because I'm
if
just
they had
curious.
it.
I mean, and that was, you were talking, what, 4 years ago
Yeah.
that you had heard. So, and it seems to be a hot topic. So I am curious what the title companies, I mean, they have such a large pool of the closings, and is this something, the trend that they're
Right.
seeing? So
Yeah.
that'll be interesting.
Okay. And sorry for that side note, y'all. This is kind of taking a side thing, but it's super interesting to me. And I'll be honest, I do own some cryptocurrencies. So you
Did your
know,
kids make you do it or something, or you just
uh,
did it?
that John made me do it. John made me do it. So we'll see. And it's funny because one of the things that I saw, I think it was over the weekend, it was actually on CBS Sunday Morning. They also did a piece on it, and the advice was only use money you can waste, which was funny advice. I mean, good advice, but funny advice. Same thing with the stock market. Don't take your life savings and put it into the stock market. Don't take your life savings and put it into Bitcoin or whatever. I mean, there's hundreds of different cryptocurrencies. So anyway, back to the measure and tracking part. Are you tracking your expenses, your business and personal? So make sure that you're not spending more than you planned, or if you need to spend more, that you're spending more because maybe the leads aren't coming in. You have extra funds somewhere. Are you, I don't know, is it time to buy a new car? Is it, if that was one of your goals for this year, check in with your expenses and see if it's absolutely going to happen.
So I'm wondering, I got that side by side and I thought, oh, I'll just get it wrapped and maybe I'll put the, business information. It can be a business write off.
Mm,
I don't know.
good idea.
It's that's the first thing that Leo said. Nope, get it wrapped, put your logo on it, and make the business pay for it. Because
Yeah.
I need more expenses apparently.
Well, I mean, I know we have several. Yeah, that's kind of the end of last year was that way. It was like, oh gosh, I need to find a way to spend some money.
And how
Um,
crazy is that? I mean,
yeah,
that's just crazy.
I know, I know. So, and we have a couple of people here. I mean, Steve Vitani has his golf cart that's all logoed out. I don't think I've ever seen it in person, but I've heard and I've seen it on Facebook when he's out with Brandy. So yeah, I don't know. Wrap your side by side. Wrap your golf cart. I don't know what else people are driving in around it. I'm not a huge fan of wrapping your car.
I don't want to know because my husband drives that thing and it's bad enough. I can't let him drive mine because he's such an aggressive Jersey driver. And, in Tennessee, he absolutely hates it because everybody's so nice. So you get to like a yield and it's one of those, no, you go, no, you go, no, you go. And he just wants to go all the way around them, jump the curbs, whatever. So I don't want, it's bad enough because my Jeep stands out with what I've done to it and he won't wave to anybody or anything like that. So I try to,
Right, you don't need extra. Well, that's what I always felt, that if your car was wrapped and you were going on a listing appointment and the seller didn't want anybody to know, and there's your car in the driveway. I
that was
actually have.
actually the first thing I was told when I got my license and shadowed an agent. I had bought all the magnets and stuff. She made me take them off. She's like, you don't want everybody to know. And then, especially on a listing appointment, you
I
don't.
had an incident once where, so I got the listing, I scheduled the photographer. The sellers were out of town, so it was perfect timing. The seller knew the photographer was coming, and the photographer's car was wrapped. And the seller hadn't told any of his neighbors, and he really wanted to tell them himself in person. And of course, the neighbor saw the photographer's car, the seller's phone went crazy, the seller was calling me, and it was like, I'm so sorry. I just didn't even occur to me to warn you that the photographer's car was wrapped. And so
And I
now,
wouldn't, yeah, I wouldn't think of that.
so
I
now
mean,
I tell them that it's a possibility. I mean, I don't know that the photographer I'm using now has a wrapped car, but I tell them it's a possibility now because you just don't want to. You don't want to, the cat out of the bag too early, but certainly wrapping your play gear, your play vehicles is a cool, fun idea for
and then
sure.
it would match my Jeep. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just such a nerd. Oh my gosh.
Right,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Back to business planning.
I know. So we
Expenses,
were on
yes.
expenses. Well, and now is a great time to really, really hone in on your expenses because I would suspect that most of us are finishing up all of our stuff to file our taxes. So now is a great time to see how you rounded out 2021 and any changes you need to make going forward for the rest of 2022.
And then, of course, one of my favorites is updating your online profiles, making sure your website links work. I feel kind of like a broken record, but very often I get a lot of emails from agents. And one of the first things I do is click on the link that's in their signature. And when that doesn't go anywhere, it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
It's like such a pet peeve. So make sure if you've, updated your photos, go through your profiles, make sure they're up to date. I'm constantly kind of updating, tweaking. I mean, that's just who I am.
Yep.
But make sure your website link works. Google yourself. I mean, I just had to go through the creative group. Like we probably get 100 member requests a day, and it's just been every and they don't answer the questions, they don't put
Right.
any of their information, so I have to go and Google them.
Right.
And if you don't pop up, or the links, I mean, it's blows my mind how many secret agents are out there. Like if I don't find them in the search, well, maybe they're admin, so I need to go to their Facebook profile. Nothing about, or even agents, nothing about their workplace, nothing in there. Their websites aren't in their profiles.
Which is interesting because there's people and I know people who are like, my Facebook is personal. I don't really like to do business on it. But if you're joining a professional group on Facebook with your personal profile and we don't know that you're a professional, that's a problem. Yeah, I'll be honest. Like I
That is
get
what's going to pop right up on a search. And why wouldn't you have your workplace go to your business page if you have a business page for your business?
yeah,
That's where you say you work. It's not like you have to post work related stuff. I really feel that's where the magic happens, and that's where you're going to get those referrals. And it doesn't have to be posting listings. You
right.
have swag, you have your cups, your hats, your whatever. I mean, I got my little earrings. I mean, there's just so many different ways to be subtle about that, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, I agree with you. And like I have, and you make fun of me because you're like, you're friends with everybody on Facebook. I have like 900 requests that I have not
No,
replied
I
to.
do too. But
And
you are when I get those and I look them up, Kerry's always my mutual friend.
so, but I always look them up too. And if there's no reason why I understand why I should be friends with this someone, I don't friend them. And there could be 40 agents in Brevard County that are friends with this person, and I look them up, and it's like some guy who's got a lawn care business in Jacksonville, and it's like, yeah, I don't need to be your friend, buddy.
Yeah, and I feel, I do get that a lot. Like, oh, I tried to friend request you like forever ago, and I mean, for me, it's like when they do the friend request, they follow me, and everything I do is pretty much public, so they can interact just as though. But I'm very particular on the feed that I want to see.
Right.
So it took years of kind of weeding out energy sucking vampires, pretty much,
Yep.
I guess. So
Yep.
I'm very cautious on who I allow into my feed. I mean, they can
Right.
interact with me. I don't really care. Like, I'm kind of falling in love with this whole TikTok and Reels thing now.
Oh gosh, I need to get on that. That's another thing. Like I feel like
That's
my
been the
my
goal.
mother. So just a quick story. My mother in 1978, my dad got the first VCR like in our neighborhood, right? And my mother refused to learn how to use it, right? And so just translate that to 2022 now. I mean, she uses nothing electronic. There's nothing because I think, she refused to learn back then. And so she never kind of kept up with the times. She had to use a computer when we owned the insurance business, but that was it. She didn't do anything extra on the computer. She's never been searching the internet or Google. I don't even think she knows what Google is. And so I've always said, I don't want to become that. So I guess TikTok needs to go on my list.
It's blowing my mind, the amount of views and interactions. It is completely, I mean, the stupidest videos that don't, I mean, and I'm not ready for me to be in them. So
Right.
it's just kind of
That's
my
what's so
adventure.
absurd to me. Like John's always like, look at this video, look at this video. I'm like, I love that he's interested and he looks at that stuff, but I'm like, I don't care to look at what other people are doing. But millions and millions of people are. And maybe
Oh,
I'm
and
missing
it does.
something.
Drives me nuts most of the time because we're trying to have dinner. It's like, put the flipping phone down. Luckily we went out this weekend and he forgot his phone. And it's like, oh, this is awesome. We can have a complete like togetherness and
Right.
being in the moment because and that's probably why I like being up the mountains. We're not on
Right.
the phone,
Right.
you don't get phone reception or
Well,
anything.
that was like the one summer when I was with the Boy Scouts and my friend Sarah Rutherford, and we were the two moms that went on the summer camp. So we were gone for a week, and we had to hike to the top of the mountain for me to get internet.
And I
And
remember
so
there's
we
a
sat.
picture of
Do you
that.
remember that picture?
There's
And
a
we sat up there for like 2 hours because I was like, I need to catch up on emails and all that sort of stuff. So
It's baby steps, Donna. So
yeah,
right now it's just my adventures. I did attempt to when we had whatever that weird falling nerds this weekend. I reversed that and then I guess my internet inside the restaurant like no internet. So it kept going super slow and all I saw were like wrinkles and bags and places I never
oh
knew
gosh,
like
yeah,
existed and I'm like, "Oh, delete. I'm
you
going out."
can't look at that stuff. And it's funny because we were on the Zoom meeting that I mentioned with Remaxa Stewart, and Deb Tomzak was on with us, and she messaged me afterwards, and she's like, I hate the sound of my voice because Nathan had mentioned, you guys need to just start doing video, start doing video. He goes, I promise you, you look and sound exactly how people hear you, so they see you and hear you daily. You might as well just do it. And but it's like you just can't look at yourself. It's funny, I can't go back and look at videos
No,
that
I
we've
don't
done.
watch. I mean, I should to critique, to do, to improve, but I
To,
have
right,
such a
because like
hard.
my note to self is try and watch the camera more, as opposed to, because I'm always trying to see what the comments are and I'm trying to look on
You're
all the
always a
pages,
busybody. You're
and
like,
I'm
oh,
trying not to do that anymore, and I'm just trying to look at the camera. But then I just scratched my eye. I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't have scratched my eye, you know but I don't want to look at the video because I think I would be horrifying.
and
But pull up the comment by Donna for a second again, where she says, I can't put myself in TikTok videos. Now, look at Donna with her Remax sunglasses on, and she's all like, swagged out with her Children's Miracle Network, but she doesn't want to be on TikTok. It's like, come on, Donna, you are like cute as could be. You need to do it.
I just have to find the right. If I'm gonna do it, the trick is using like the Snapchat video filter because there's all the cute filter, and I like fun. So that and they have filters where I can look younger or look better, and I just have to start there because that was oh my gosh so horrifying. But apparently for TikTok, for Snapchat, for all that, I have it where if I'm not at home on my Wi-Fi, I can't get on it. So I had to go into settings and figure out how in the world to you know find all that. So that's next on my list. So I can get brave enough. I mean, I do a little bit,
Right.
but even one of my, I mean, I don't understand. It might be all in the hashtags. I don't know. Like my daughter, I did the stupid drop thing. That was my first one, and I did do it with me. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, this is gonna blow up." And she did it from my phone, figured out how to on Instagram, download the video, get it over on, and there's like 7 views, and it's
Yeah.
like my daughter was like, "What? I thought you were gonna go viral." And then a stupid video of me naming my Jeep, and just kind of showing that has almost 11,000. I'm like,
Wow.
what?
Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason behind what people like. And Rob, we appreciate that comment.
So
And
easy.
I'll tell you all this. I watch ridiculous, stupid TV, time sucking, ridiculous TV. I watch Real Housewives of everything. And one of the gals in Real Housewives of Orange County has an eating disorder, and she's working through it kind of on TV. And her husband said to her, she's thin and she's, a beautiful woman. And her husband said, I love you. It doesn't matter to me what you look like. You could gain, 50 pounds and I would still love who you are. And yes, Rob, you're so right. Like ladies, we just have to get over ourselves and just do
Well,
it.
and that's how we ended up being able to do this.
Yeah.
Is like, whatever, we're just going to do it and see what happens because it took almost 2 years of us saying we're going to do it
Right.
to finally just do it. It is what it is. I have noticed when I watch the videos, I don't really have the sound on, but I talk way too much with my hands. All
Yeah,
I
well,
see is
you
like this
do.
blur of
Here's
hands.
funny. So I have on my left screen is the video through Facebook, so there's a time delay, and I keep seeing your hands going out of the corner of
I
my
should like sit on my hands, but then I have to like
eye.
scroll, and I'm always looking because I have the comment threads,
Right.
that are over here, or to change the little banners and all this kind of stuff. So I do see I'm always looking over to the side as well, but all I see when I watch the videos are my hands all over the place. So
Things to work on. I mean, things to work on. I suspect if we look back 5 years from now to what we're doing in videos in 5 years versus what we started with, we will have improved. We'll be better, and it'll be awesome. But
I look at the
let's
first
bring it back
videos.
to our last two things. So we had the what 10 things are you going to do consistently, and these were some of the ideas. So check on that. Make sure you are doing 10 things consistently. If there's something you thought you were going to do but you're not doing it, um, maybe switch it up on your list.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm.
Just time to completely look over the book. You're breaking it down in your vision board just to see where you're at, your expenses,
Yep.
personal business. Make sure you are keeping track of all of that. It is super. It's just super important to me. I like to know where my money's going and what my return on investment is.
Right.
All of that stuff.
And then our last thing is, how is your daily schedule shaping up? This is always a struggle for me. I get up early and then I get sidetracked into doing other things, um, which is not good. And then I get off track. I need to be much better about keeping my schedule very on
And
track.
I love Asana. I mean, that's free. I use that, and I think a lot of that is because I could put it on my Google Calendar, and some things I do, but there's something satisfying about like Asana because it's almost like a task. I can
You
say,
check it off.
I
Check
get
it
to
off.
check it off, and when I do 3 checks in a day, I get like this flying unicorn, and there is something super satisfying about that flying unicorn or whatever it may be. It's I don't know, because I still have like my little books that so it's like I kind of do it in both places, but I really do like Asana for that constant email of what I need to do, the visual, so it's kind of always open. It I have to be, it keeps me on track of everything and to stay organized. So I really like that.
Cool.
So what is our weekly activity?
So take an hour this week to review your business planning book and find out what is out of sync, and uh, and put a plan in place to get things organized and to get back on track.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the words of wisdom I thought kind of went along with everything is a little bit of progress each day adds up to big results.
Yep. Like you always say, progress, not perfection.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
For
that's
sure.
a lot for video is that was my big thing. But and just baby step things. Don't overwhelm yourself with all of the things in your business planning. Just, I just try to tackle 3 things a month, which, and if I don't get it done, I don't get it done. It's there. I just kind of move it over. I'll kind of cross it off as I get it done. Don't overwhelm yourself, but baby step things and you know, the, all these things that we had you do. There's a reason for it. So do your checkup from the neck up. I think that's a Zig Ziglar thing. I don't know. It just kind of flowed right out. I think that's a quote. Um, and then make sure we have all of this and more on our website, the MondayMorningWakeUpCall.com. Subscribe to our podcast, all that fun stuff. We've got some great shows coming up. And until next week, wake up, kick ass, and repeat.